Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 5, entitled as Karma Sannyasa Yogam. Sloka 16. Jñānena tu tadat jñānaṁ yeṣāṁ nāśitam ātmanaḥ teṣām āditya-vaj prakāśayati param. In the previous sloka, we saw that ajñānena jñānaṁ tena muhyanti jantavaha. That is, the living entities, knowledge is covered by the karma in the form of ajñāna. In today's sloka, we will see this with an analogy of a sun and how one can deal with it. yeṣāṁ, to whose, tat ajñānaṁ, that nescience, here it is considered as karma, ātmanaḥ tu jñānena, by knowledge regarding the self, that is atma, nāśitam, got destroyed, teṣām, there, param, that supreme, jñānaṁ, knowledge, āditya-vaj, like sunlight, prakāśayati, discloses or reveals everything. That means there is no more delusion. The translation is, when, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. The karma will not affect us directly. It doesn't know or has a way to do directly. It has to do through our body, and the karma cannot cover us directly either. It has to do that through the covering of ātmanaḥ, ajñānaṁ, the knowledge of atma. Like the cloud covers the sun, the karma covers the knowledge of atma. The cloud has to be removed to see the sun, or the cloud has to be removed so the sunlight can pass through. Likewise, the karma has to be removed to have the knowledge of atma. That is what being explained here. By the vidya shakti, jñānena, avidya, ajñānaṁ is destroyed, and knowledge of the living entity is revealed to oneself. Just as the glow of the sun destroys darkness and reveals objects like pots and cloth, so vidya destroys avidya and reveals the spiritual param, knowledge fixed in the jiva, the atma. That is the meaning of this sloka. There are few differences, though the example has been given here, the sun. There are some differences as to be understood clearly. Number one, when the clouds are removed, everyone can start seeing things as they are. But here the example is not about everyone seeing everything. It has to be considered that atma is like sun, and the sun is covered by the clouds. Hence, the rays are blocked. When the clouds are removed by some factor, maybe a wind, then rays are spread out. Likewise, when the karma, ajñāna, that covers the knowledge of atma is removed, then jivatma will be able to see itself, the atma. That's the difference here when we see, because the examples are given to illustrate a certain point. So we have to carefully understand why these examples are given. Otherwise it will be misleading. The second point to be noted with this analogy is sun is a non-sentient, achit. Likewise, the cloud is also achit. Therefore, a non-sentient object cannot try to take effort to do things by itself with another non-sentient thing. But when it comes to Atma, Atma is Chit, sentient. So the effort has to be through the Atma itself, not something else. Like we see the sun rays in between the clouds sometimes. Within the clouds, in the holes of the cloud, we'll see some rays, sharp rays, shining rays that penetrates through the clouds sometimes. And gradually that small penetrating rays expands and increases, and then we can see the entire sun. The clouds are gone. Likewise, the Atma start utilizing its time properly in Krishna consciousness activities, then they gradually will be able to remove the ajñāna and will be able to have the full knowledge about the Atma. So whenever one gets chances, they have to engage themselves, even forcefully, because we are covered by this ignorance. The ignorance will always try to pull us back from any good activities. So at times we have to forcefully get engaged ourselves. For example, listening Gita every day, chanting the mantras every day, doing some services. All these things are going to be the helping factor for one to remove the ajñāna, the covering. Here, in this sloka, there is an important philosophical point that needs to be understood, which is opposing the theory of Advaitam. As per Advaita philosophy, the Atma is one, which is Brahman. That Brahman is covered by ajñāna, ignorance. That ajñāna is also a upadhi. Upadhi meaning it's an instrument which covers the Atma. This upadhi is also false, it's not real. That means the ajñāna is also false, not real. So the Brahman is covered by the false upadhi called ajñāna. Therefore the Atma is reflected on various bodies and appears to be many. Therefore all these are not true, they are all false. When the ajñāna is removed, the Brahman will come to a clear understanding that these reflections are all false, they are all not many, it is just one, that is itself. When that ajñāna arises, that is called moksha. The very moment they attain moksha, even being in that body. This is their philosophy. Jñānena tu tatat jñānaṁ yeṣāṁ nāśitam ātmanaḥ teṣām āditya-vaj jñānaṁ prakāśayati param. Namaste. Hare Krishna.